Hello everyone and welcome to My Kitchen Science Show. I'm your host, Mr. Shannon, and on today's Christmas edition, we are going to be exploring the states of matter. But before we actually start talking about what the states of matter are, can someone tell me what matter itself is? Yeah, so matter is actually everything that we see around us. Everything is made up of matter, and matter is made up of little things called particles. In all the objects that we see, there are millions and millions of little particles that combine together to make them up. So, what are the states of matter? There are three. The first state of matter is liquids. Inside of our bottle, we can see we have white vinegar splashing and flowing around. Flowing is a very important word. That is the main property of liquids. Liquids flow. Number two, we have solids. Here's an example of one solid. This is a plastic bottle that we're going to need today. And this is a special type of solid because it's called a clear solid, which means we can see through it. When I put this ball in front of my face, you can still see my face. Our other type of solid is an opaque solid. And opaque is a special word for not being able to see through something. So when I put this in front of my face, you can't see my face anymore. Opaque. And then our third state of matter are gases. And we don't actually have any gases here today, but during our experiment, we're going to see if we can make a gas using our liquids and solids. So, let's get started. But before we can actually get into our experiment, we need to talk about some safety procedures. So, when I do this experiment in my classroom with my students, there are three specific safety procedures that we follow. Number one, when you spill something, you need to alert the teacher, being myself. But since I'm not actually with you guys today, you need to alert someone else in your household, whether that is your parent, your siblings, someone who else is there that can help you clean up your mess, because sometimes the things we spill might be harmful to our skin and might be harmful to our bodies if we accidentally swallow them. Number two, when you have a spill, it needs to get cleaned up right away because it can damage the surface that we spill it on. And it might get onto our bodies, and it would be very bad if we were to accidentally ingest it. And then number three, roll up our sleeves. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to take our plastic bottle. We're going to put this dead in the center. Our second step is we're going to take our funnel. We're going to stick it into the top lid of our plastic bottle, and we're going to take a cup of white vinegar and we're going to pour it into our bottle. Perfect. Give it a little shake, make sure it's all in there. Awesome. So now we have our liquid in our clear plastic bottle. Our second step is we need to take our balloon and maybe stretch out the hole or the opening in our balloon, and we're going to put this actually around the bottom part of our funnel. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put our baking soda directly into our balloon. And if you have a measuring tool, you can put about 1/3 of a cup of your baking soda into our balloon, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Perfect. Give it a little shake around to make sure it all gets in there. So then when you feel your balloon, it should feel like there's some baking soda in there. It should feel a little bit harder on the inside. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have our experiment set up, we are going to very carefully, I like to pinch the stem on my balloon to make sure I don't have any baking soda fall in before I want it to. So holding our stem shut, we're going to put our opening around the cap of our bottle. So then we should have our balloon attached and it should be dangling down the side here. So this is the fun part. Does anyone have any hypotheses or guesses as to what might happen when we combine our two states of matter? No one? All right, well, let's do it and find out. So we're going to take our balloon and we're going to tip it up nice and slowly, shaking our baking soda into our bottle. And look what's happening. We're making a gas and the balloon is blowing up on its own. What? This is crazy. I never have to blow up a balloon with my mouth again. And look at inside of our bottle. There's a huge chemical reaction going on. There's tons of bubbles. It's foaming up. shake it around a little bit. And when we see bubbles like that, we know that gases are being formed. So we've actually used our solid and our liquid today to make a gas. So what happens when we combine our states of matter? They change state. So we started with a liquid and a solid, and we finished with a gas. How is that possible? I'm going to take my balloon off here, and I'm going to tie it off very carefully. There we go. Maybe you can wrap this up and give it to someone for Christmas. So what happened during that experiment? We started with a solid and a liquid, and it turned into a gas when we combined them. How is this possible? So what actually happens is, remember the particles that we talked about? So the particles in our solids and liquids are very different. The particles in our solids are packed very closely together, which is why when we have a solid, we can't really change its shape at all. It's very, very firm, and it's very, very fixed in shape. But with our liquids, our particles are very spread out, which means that they get to move around, they can change shape, they can flow, they can bounce. Very unlike our solid. So when we combine these two types of matter, their particles interact, and their particles actually exchange with one another. And when they exchange, they create a reaction. And our reaction caused a gas to form from the solids and liquid combining. So if we ever want to blow up balloons for our friends' birthday parties, we can use baking soda and vinegar. Thank you everyone for joining me for My Kitchen Science Show. I had so much fun today, and I hope you guys do this experiment at home and show your friends and family how easy it is to blow up balloons. So I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, and see you next time on My Kitchen Science Show. My name is Mr. Shannon. I'm signing out.